I was going to try to make this video into a short video, but then I realized after 3 attempts of trying to put into words what I wanted to say in a minute or less, it wasn't working because every time it got to that minute mark, it just cut off and I didn't get all my words out and I didn't want to like speed talk like I was freaking Ben Shapiro or something like that. So I'm going to put everything that I need to say into this particular video right here. I don't know how long it's going to be, probably no more than 10 minutes at least. So the Little Mermaid official trailer dropped at the Oscars, and it was presented by Melissa McCarthy, who plays Ursula, and Halle Bailey, who of course you know plays Ariel. Ever since she was announced that she was going to be playing Ariel back in 2019, it's literally been hell, more so for her and probably Disney or the people who are creating this film. I have done maybe 2 videos so far addressing the first part, and then I did a video last year after they dropped the teaser trailer and how much they bombed this particular film. And sure enough, and I knew this was going to happen when they dropped the official trailer, which was full length. They ended up doing the whole dislike bomb thing again this time. You know, this time you got to see more characters and whatnot, because in the teaser you only saw Ariel and just different underwater sequences, and that was just pretty, and hear her sing a little bit. This one you actually hear her talk, you hear her sing, you see more characters, you know, like Flounder, Sebastian, and so on, and Ursula, so on and so forth. And just like that first teaser, this one got heavily dislike bombed as well. And it keeps going back to the same thing. Of course, now they've added in that Sebastian, you know, looks kind of weird. I'm going to be honest. He does a kind of weird a little bit, but it's live action. It's only so much you're going to do to make a crab look real or animated, or however you want to put it. But they pretty much made him look like a real crab, which in the animated version, that's what he is. He's a crab. So it's only so much you're really going to do with that. Another one they threw in there, of course, was about Aquafina, who I can't stand, doing the voice of the character Scuttle, which in the original version, of course, was voiced by a man. And they not only, you know, switched out the gender of the voice, but they also switched out the whole the creature or the animal that Scuttle was, because I forgot what kind of character that what animal that character was. Hold on, let me look that up and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That character was a seagull, but I don't know what kind of a bird species it's supposed to be in this one. But they, you know, had some stuff to say about that. Of course, you know, those were the light nitpicks that anyone could probably speak on. But of course, the main one came right back, of course, to Halle Bailey being portraying Ariel, of course, and she's being a black woman. And they continuously stayed on top of that. And it's crazy to me because you know how YouTube turns off the dislike button because, you know, a lot of people get wrongfully disliked and stuff like that on their videos. And I guess they don't want to discourage people when they see all that kind of stuff, or they feel like that's not something that people want to see. Well, of course, whenever it comes to something they don't like, not only is it's not enough for them to simply dislike the video, they will go into a software program where you can pull up the dislike meter and pull up and say, hey, this movie or this trailer got all these dislikes. And again, I think they heavily disliked it because the last time I looked at what the trailer was without the dislike meter, it was like at 103,000 plus likes. So I can only imagine what those dislikes look like. That I'm sure this probably is almost double or a little bit more than that if I had to assume. That's how much they dislike the fact that a black woman is playing this character. Of course, they're going to say, no, it's not because she's black. That's bullshit. It is bullshit. And the reason why I know is because I went through and looked through various different comment sections of people who had negative things to say about the trailer. I don't have to give away any names. You know, 2 of them are like probably off the top of your head. And I was looking through the comment section, even to the comment section of the trailer on the Walt Disney Studios YouTube channel. And people were leaving like stereotypical comments like, oh, Ariel's gonna be yelling out Black Lives Matter, or they call, instead of calling her the Little Mermaid, they call her the Lil Mermaid, and we know who it is, and so on and so forth. But one comment that I saw that I knew that they were completely nitpicking was when somebody said she can't sing or she can't act. Well, first off, let me just say, I don't know what her acting chops is, because I really haven't seen her act. But to say that she can't sing is absolutely false. I'm like, have you ever seen her sing outside of this? This woman, like, for someone her age, has one of those voices that kind of reminds you of how you would hear singers sing back, like way back in our parents' day. She almost has a classical type of singing voice, her and her sister. If you take away a lot of the layers of the type of music that they do and just listen to them sing a cappella, and there is videos online of her singing a cappella, she has a very, very nice voice. Like, she's the perfect voice, because the Ariel character is known for her voice. After all, that's what Ursula wants, is her voice in exchange so she can go to the surface world and be with Prince Eric. So it's an exchange. So her voice has to be nice. She has to know how to sing. So it's the craziest thing when someone said that she can't sing or she can't act. I'm like, I don't know about her acting, but because I haven't seen her act. But to say that she can't sing, and then they said there's other Black actresses and stuff like that, and I'm saying to myself, well, I thought you didn't want her to be Ariel to be Black, but you're campaigning for other Black actresses. It's the weirdest thing. Like I said, they begin to trip over their own words after a while. And what's crazy to me is that historically, we have seen over the years where they have whitewashed actually existing Black people. Like, how many ancient Egyptian movies were made and all the cast was white? Notice they stopped doing those because they realized that people wasn't paying to see inaccuracy, historical inaccuracy. Meanwhile, the Ariel character is not real. As a matter of fact, they said that in the book, because the Little Mermaid is based off of a book, she didn't even have a color, like a race. She was like some color that nobody in human existence ever looked like. She looked more creature-like than human. So literally, this is an adaptation of an adaptation. But of course, if you bring that up, then they will say that, you're wrong and this, that, and the third, because they have to keep going with the narrative that Disney, quote unquote, is being woke, quote unquote. Of course, they have to throw the word woke in there somehow, some way. Now, I already know for a fact what's going to happen when this movie drops. They're going to review bomb it. I already know. They're going to review bomb this movie. And I think I explained what review bomb meant when I first talked about this, but I'm going to bring it up again, just in case you were unaware what a review bomb is. So you know how it's pretty much the same as a dislike bomb, which, they go into a video and they heavily dislike it just because. The thing is, many of them didn't even watch the trailer. They just heard the trailer drop, went right to the page and just disliked it, maybe left a comment and left. That's all they did. What they're going to do is, when this movie comes out, they're going to run right to Rotten Tomatoes, and they're going to leave a whole bunch of negative reviews to sway people from seeing the movie, because a lot of people take their cue, I don't know why, from Rotten Tomatoes. They're not the end all be all for movies. And the thing is, they have to go into the audience score, because the audience score is weighs more heavier than the critic score. So they're going to try to review bomb the audience score to say that this movie is bad after not even having seen it. That's why Kid Gravity, I don't know if y'all have ever heard him say it or not, but I've heard him say it. I don't know if he's watching this video or not. He said that he hopes this movie makes $1 billion. And it's not because they have a Black woman playing Ariel, and they're going with the angle of course she's a Black character in this iteration of this of this movie, and and her love interest happens to be white, because I know that's what a lot of the people who watch me, that's the angle that they're going to go with as to why they wouldn't go see it. It's the fact that those people that keep putting this and woke that. It's basically to get back at them. So it's almost like this movie has to succeed to throw egg on their face. And I think this movie is actually going to do, pretty well, because the audience is definitely there. As a matter of fact, they already released a toy, like a Little Mermaid doll in the likeness of Halle Bailey. And to my knowledge, the minute that they dropped the toy, it pretty much sold out in hours. Like they bought them, a lot of people just went online and quickly bought them all up to the point where they were on back order and have to do like a whole new shipment. So that's a good thing, because the merch, when stuff like this happens, they drop toys and products and stuff like that to help promote the film as it gets closer and closer to the film release date, which of course is May 26th, which is Memorial Day weekend, and it's coming out a holiday weekend too, so it gets an extra day. If you include Thursday, that's 4 days worth of financial growth that the movie can get. And because it's Memorial Day weekend, the kids are out of school, so that means there's going to be a lot of people probably taking, it may be bus loads of kids, because technically around that time the kids are still in school, because usually school doesn't let out until like June, so they might do field trips. So it actually works itself out. So I'm curious to know what the numbers for this movie is going to be after its first weekend, and that's probably when I'm gonna come back on here and address this again, because I saw someone had left a comment. Of course, they said, I predict that this movie is not going to make more than $130 million. I think it's going to make more than that. I think this movie has the potential to possibly crack 200 million in its opening weekend, just domestically alone, because they're going to release it worldwide. I even saw some comments talking about, I don't know how this movie's going to do in China, and that comment right there let me know without the shadow of a doubt. I went over 10 minutes, but it is what it is. That comment right there let me know without the shadow of a doubt that they are banking that the movie fails in China because it's a black lead. Remember what happened with the Black Panther poster? On the American poster, his face didn't have the helmet on, but in the Chinese poster, the helmet was on. And just like with the Star Wars Force Awakens American poster, Finn was bigger on the poster, making it seem like he, was a main character or supporting character at least. But on the Chinese poster, they made him very tiny, to the point where if he wasn't holding that blue lightsaber in his hand, you wouldn't even know he was on the poster. So that's what they're banking on, is that when this movie gets released in China, that it doesn't do well, or they're probably banking and hoping that because the lead is black, that it doesn't get released in China. Yeah, like I tell you, I've seen so many comments. That's one reason why I came on here, so I could do this video talking about it. I wasn't gonna, of course, I'm not gonna run through all the comments that I saw, but y'all can pretty much guess who left the comments and who made the videos. If you just go online and just type in the Little Mermaid trailer reaction, you'll probably see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And one last thing I saw, and this was the most pathetic thing I ever saw when it comes to trailer reactions. Somebody actually took their time to put a compilation of videos together, people reacting to this trailer, who are people who was excited, from what they saw. I think they did like 10 videos and made a compilation of those reactions and threw some stuff on it and whatnot. It was talking stuff about the people and how they looked because of how they reacted to the trailer, and had the nerve to call them shills. Basically saying these people are bought and paid for and these aren't genuine reactions. Basically also saying that there's no way anybody who's of sane mind and sober could ever enjoy this trailer without nitpicking it the way that I would. I kid you not. I will leave the links, to that video if you want to see it. I'll understand if you don't, but someone actually did that. I've never seen that before. I've seen people do video reaction type of things before, but never to that extent. And my thing is this, when it comes to the review bomb thing, if y'all think the movie is going to be so bad and fail, why won't you let it fail naturally? Why do you have to try to give it a boost to make it fail? That means deep down, you know that the movie's going to be a success. Or at the very least, if the movie is not good, it's going to make a lot of money. See, what they saw was that movie Aladdin, the live action remake of Aladdin, was the first one to make $1 billion. And it was a success. They want to make sure that doesn't happen again. I think the Lion King, did well too. I'm not sure what their final numbers were, but it was up there. And they don't want this to happen, especially because now Ariel is not white, like in the original animated version. But again, if you have to review bomb a movie in order for you to want it to fail, because I know that's what they're going to do, I'm calling it now, then that means you have no faith that the movie's going to fail on its own. That's basically what it boils down to. Like, there really is nothing else to say to that. Don't review it. I mean, how can you review something you ain't even see? What they should do is put a thing there and say that, ask, did you see the movie? That's number one. And then ask them what happened. What happened at a particular point in the movie that was not in the original? Because you know they're probably going to throw some stuff in there. I think they said they added new songs. Name a new song that was in the movie that's not in the original. I'm telling you, they'll slip up. Of course, that's wishful thinking, but we know that's not going to happen. Then another one I always keep hearing about is, why don't they do more original, black characters, for black people to be in? Well, and one brought up the Princess and the Frog. I said, really? I said, so you would prefer her or any other black actress to play Tiana, which is not bad. But guess what? In the movie, she was a frog most of the time, so you wouldn't even see her that much. It would mainly be voiceover work. She's only existing as a human for the first 15 minutes and the last 5 minutes of the movie. Like a total of 20 minutes for a movie that's like an hour and a half long. So that was a bad example. It's a lot of black people that didn't like that movie for that reason. But that's the one they throw out there. Gee, I wonder why. That's why I don't listen to them when they say that. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video off on this note. The way that they told us to deal with all the whitewashed characters over the years, to just deal with it, because they have said that, to just deal with it. Well, guess what I'm going to tell y'all? Ariel is black. This version is. If you want to relive your childhood, go watch the 1989 version. It's still there. They make it seem like her version of it is erasing it, and I think that's what they're scared of, because they feel more girls are going to gravitate towards this. And I think what gets me the most is that these are grown people, and a lot of them are grown men. It's mainly grown men who are having an issue with this. I can understand if it was the women, considering this is a female character, but it's mainly the grown men that have an issue, which boggles my mind. But like I said, the 1989 version is still around. You can go and watch it if you feel some type of way about it. That's not going anywhere. This is not replacing that. Because if you ask a lot of people are going to prefer the animated version over the live action anyway. They just want to see a compare and contrast to see what did they leave in, what did they take out, or what did they add in, and then say which one was better. But again, they are scared that this version is going to eclipse the original one. That's the fear. And if she was if she was white, they wouldn't have that fear, because they said it's source material. Well, if it's source material, then why wasn't the original Ariel in the animated version with the version of what it was adapted from in the book? Exactly. They can't never answer that one. And to the white supremacist trolls who clearly evidently have an issue with the direction, well, the movie is clearly going in, because no matter what they say, the movie's going to be released regardless. It's already locked in. All I have to say is this: don't worry. When you go to sleep at night, when you take your crusty, dusty ass to sleep at night and your crusty, dusty ass wakes up the next morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and see what you see, and you wash and bathe yourself, for those who wash and bathe themselves, because word on the street, not all of you do, white supremacy will still be in effect. The race swapping of this character is not going to end the systemic racism that you have enacted, well, your ancestors that enacted so you could benefit off of. But I pretty much got out everything that I needed to say as it pertains to this. I know I said I was going to keep this video at 10 minutes. We almost at 20 minutes, but it is what it is. When I go on a tangent sometimes, that's what ends up happening.